Perky Planes and RC here, operating at 2.4 gigahertz, and got the good old Dairy Queen Diet Coke today. Well, how's everybody doing? As you can tell by my jacket and with my gloves on and my breath that you could see, it's chilly here once again inside the hangar. Currently 35 degrees. We started up the morning here probably about 15, 16 degrees, and I got my little propane heater down here kind of warming things up a little bit. So it's getting there. And actually, I think today they're saying the high could be around the mid 40s. So it's actually going to warm up pretty decent today. So not much to report on in the hangar. It has been very slow going. Still getting things unpacked, settled. I do have my shelf back here behind me, and trying to get some things off the floor and sort of organized a little bit. As I said before in previous videos here, it's just going to be a work in progress. The environment around me is probably going to be ever changing as I'm sort of going through things and getting things settled and whatnot. So I'm glad I got the shelf in, as it helps get some of these things out of the way. So things are still a little bit cluttered over in this vicinity over here, where some of the storage stuff is. As the moving process and getting stuff out of the storage unit, some of the boxes, of course, are not in exactly the best shape, so I'm having to move stuff to other boxes, or ideally try to get them into an actual plastic tote, which is a little bit more durable. So there's a little bit of that kind of stuff going on too. But anyways, enough of that kind of thing. Let's talk some RC stuff here a little bit. Not much really to report on as far as RC. I have been doing a little bit of work in the background, basically with a Taranis radio and OpenTX. Got me a few tutorials to sort of help me with programming the radio and getting the hang of it and stuff. So I do think actually, I was originally going to try and program the CDUC into the radio with the differential thrust and everything, but I might actually just kind of do the Bloody Baron instead, just to kind of get me a good feel for it. I do have some stuff on the differential thrust with the CDUC, so it's still going to be up there as well. So I'm hoping here in the next little bit I'll get maybe both of those programmed. One thing I do want to mention, and this is kind of the reason for some of the delay with that, is that actually all my LiPo batteries have been stored outside, so they've actually been going through all the extreme temperatures, and I haven't even checked them in a while to see if they're still holding up okay. They say that cold temperatures, as long as the batteries are at storage level, that the cold doesn't hurt them at all, basically. It's in fact, a lot of people recommend even keeping in the cold or keeping in the refrigerator when they're not in use. But the issue that I run into with that right now is that I haven't really got them out of the ammo can that I keep them in, and I let them to warm up to room temperature to sort of start working with them a little bit. So they're still out there in the cold right now. So probably I'll try and get into that here soon, and so I can actually start firing one of these guys up and working with it and trying to get and getting the radio program and stuff. Something that has been on my mind here recently is thinking of joining the FTCA. That is the flight test community-based organization that they have for those that are interested in doing the RC flight and stuff. So I have been seriously pondering of joining that. Believe it or not, I haven't joined it yet. So I've been just sort of, just kind of thinking about that and stuff. I will kind of tell you part of my reasons for that. Aside from the fact that I have, of course, been a big supporter of flight test and the things that they do, I kind of feel like they're one of the top players, basically, that have really brought people into the hobby, more so than anything else. I think that companies also like Horizon Hobby as well have helped people really kind of get into the hobby and everything. But I do think Flight Test is another great example of a company that really has brought people into the hobby as well, especially the fixed wing side of things. So I do want to continue to support Flight Test in any way that I can. I do I pretty much have become a fan of their products, of course, and their concept of still keeping the DIY stuff there, because there really is a sort of part of the hobby that is really very exciting and very unique in itself. Not so much a, here's a plane, put it together, go fly. That not that kind of thing. It's actually, here's the plans. Here, go ahead and cut this out, glue it, put it together, or almost like Legos basically. Here's the pieces. Put the whole thing together from scratch. Slap your electronics in it, and then enjoy it. And of course the use of foam board makes things inexpensive, makes it very approachable, so that people aren't crashing $200, $300 airplanes and feeling feeling upset when something like that happens. It's like, no, this thing is built out of super cheap materials that is not a big loss if you actually end up crashing. So I do have a lot of respect for flight test and of course that. But like I said, just been really seriously considering joining the FTCA, just because I haven't yet. I am currently a member of the AMA and have been with the AMA for, I think, 5 or 6 years now. And of course, I appreciate, of course, the AMA with what they do. They've been around for so long. And the one thing I do feel about the AMA is I do feel like it's a little bit old fashioned in a way. A lot of the older guys that sort of do the AMA, and I don't feel like there's a lot of they're not really too modern, I guess you could say. I feel like they've been slow to adapt to certain things. Nothing personal against them, just something I've observed, and I think a lot of people tend to have those feelings as well. Just been very slow, very old fashioned, and I think that flight test is sort of like starting to venture in, or I feel like flight test is sort of taken some of the modern part of that. So I do feel like that I'm kind of in the middle. I'm in my 40s, early 40s, and I just sort of feel like that I'm sort of, like I say, in the middle. Like I have a little bit of the old-fashioned sense on some things, the old-fashioned feel on some things, but I've also adapted and of course gotten to done some of the more modern things as well. What do they call that? Millennials nowadays, or Gen X? I don't know. I don't keep track of all those things, but that's kind of where I fit in. Basically, I kind of still do. I have some old-fashioned ways about the way I do things, but I also have a little of the modern touch. So I'm kind of in between there. But anyways, like I said, AMA, do appreciate them, do support them. Been around a long time. I think they're a little old-fashioned, of course. And then you have flight test and the FTCA, more modern approach, a really, what I would consider a very new base of people that are into the hobby. More, some actually attracting some younger folks into the hobby. So, I do commend flight test for doing that. So, but like I said, been thinking about joining the FTCA. I'm sure I'll announce it when it actually does happen, or when I've actually done the thing. I find that the FTCA as well is, of course, extremely affordable compared to the AMA, which, of course, I'm all about, being affordable. And I haven't really looked much into this, but I would imagine there probably are other community organizations out there that do RC flight as well. Probably even some that are for drone enthusiasts, maybe some for helicopters, things like that. But anyways, that's kind of some things, some thoughts in my mind as I try to sift through all the stuff here and get the hangar sort of fixed up the way I want it and everything. So I would appreciate your thoughts on the thing as well. If any of you guys out there are AMA members or FTCA members, one or the other. As far as anything else around here, not really. So hoping to get the, like I said, hoping to get the Taranis radio program to at least be able to operate, the Sea Duck, the Bloody Baron, and of course, any other planes that I have once I start going through them and whatnot. I must say, switching radios is quite a challenge, or quite a change, especially when you get used to a certain interface for so long. Of course, I used Spectrum for many years, And then here I'm going right from Spectrum into OpenTX, Taranis, FlySky, whatever you call it. It's a whole different interface, whole different thing. Some of the terminology's changed around a little bit. Of course, the menu structure is different. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I think I'm doing okay. There's a lot of helpful sites out there, a lot of helpful information to help someone sort of brand new get used to it and everything. Again, that's kind of on the horizon to sort of get that thing, get those batteries, out of storage, get them charged up and used, and start, getting these things to where they actually can work again. But really, aside from that, I've got nothing much else. Like I said, just continually working here on the Hangar and updating things and whatnot. So that's kind of where things are. Like I said, it's slow going around here, and I think the cold temperatures are kind of part of that as well, because it has been frigid. We had, of course, had a big old ice storm here, over this past couple days. Luckily, I don't think we got hit as hard as some other places. I know some places got ice, snow, the whole 9 yards. We kind of got a little fraction of it, and then that was it. So, I'm sure some of you guys out there probably got hit with got hit full force with some of that stuff, and hopefully you guys stayed safe and we're okay. But anyways, that is all for me. Nothing much else to report on. Hoping here soon that things will start kind of picking up a little bit, as we kind of get more of the Hangar fixed up and whatnot. But guys, that is all for me. So future plans, of course, is getting the Taranis radio and batteries charged up, work on those, get to where I can start flying again. And probably by that time, the weather, of course, will probably take a turn and be a little bit warmer, sunnier, no snow, and all that good stuff. So other than that, that's all. You guys stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.